Hello everyone, and welcome to another beer review. Now, today we're in a Greene King Pale Ale, and apparently it's award-winning taste. It was a World Beer Awards winner, England, so there you go. So today we're doing Greene King's Icebreaker Pale Ale. Now, apparently it's beer busting with juiciness, as it says on the back. Juiciness, where the fuck's the juice coming from? Right, aroma. Apparently, citrus, resin, hop. Taste, citrus, tropical, resin, hop. Malt, pale amber, carapils, malt, and torrefied wheat. And the hops are Citra and Simcoe. So there you go. It's 4.5%. It's 500ml. And again, I got it in the Asda deal that they were basically giving 4 for 3. So I think it was priced roughly about £2.25. So again, it's just under £2 under the deal. So there you go. Any other spill on the back? No. None whatsoever. Apparently, their tagline is, the first sip says it all. What the fuck does that mean? More willy pish. Anyway, let's crack it open and get it poured. First sip says it all. I think I'm fucking Doolally or something. Jesus. So expect a bit of citrus with this. As long as it's not piney, that's okay. I can cope with a bit of citrus. Pine, well, you can shove that up your ass. I've said that countless times and I'll keep on saying. There's no room for that for me. So for people on the podcast, it's about a one finger head. It's slightly opaque. Bit cloudy, as you can see, but yeah, it's a nice kind of light copper colour, or light amber. So there you go. Smell wise, well, I'm getting citrus. Get a little bit of golden syrup, as in malty flavours, or smells, flavours, aromas. So get a little bit of kind of golden syrup aromas, which is the malt, and yeah, I'm getting a kind of indistinct kind of citrus kind of smell. Resin. Maybe a slight syrupiness. But yeah, so let's see what it tastes like. Well, there is citrus there. Yes, it's a bit citrusy. Bit of bitterness there, but not too piney actually. Again, a good thing to report is there isn't much of the pine in that bitterness. A little bit, but not so much. So that's one good thing, because I'm not going to hate on it then. Overall, body initially feels not too bad. Flavour intensity again, not too bad. But again, it's all down to whether you like citrus in your beer. Now, while I can live with it and I can cope with it and everything else, I'd rather not have it, or have a little bit, but as long as it's balanced off with more kind of traditional hop flavours like floralness and things like that, or maybe a little bit of kind of fruitiness and things like that. But no, a lot of traditional beer drinkers aren't into citrus, and I can understand that, because if I had the choice, no. Most of the beers that I buy do not have any citrus flavours in it at all. And that's the way I want it. That's my preference. course, other people, especially in the craft beer fraternity, love it. And it seems to be the only flavour profile they actually want in their beer, because it seems to be pale ales and IPAs and APAs and Napas and everything else, and West Coast and East Coast and God knows, up your coast. And they've all got to be bombarded with citrus, so they're very one-dimensional in the flavour profile, because that's all they want. I'm surprised they don't even put bloody citrus through their stouts and things like that, and their porters. I'm surprised that hasn't happened yet. Or maybe it has, and I've missed out on that debauchery, thank God. But yeah, it just seems to be, the future of beer is craft brewing, and the future of craft brewing is more citrus. Light beers and citrus, there you go. With pine everywhere. We're pining for it. All that kind of nonsense. And you're thinking, that's the future, that you can only kind of make one type of beer and just keep chucking as many fucking hops in it as possible to give it more citrus flavour and more kind of piney bitterness, and you're thinking, or sourness as I like to call it. And there you go. That's the future of beer, All that one-dimensional. Whereas more traditional beer drinkers, we're used to lots of different styles of beer and different types of flavour profiles. It's almost like we're the adults in the beer drinking kind of fraternity, rather than the kids. I see citrus as like chocolate to kids, that type of stuff. It's like sugar to kids. That's all they want. It's sugary sweet stuff. And yeah, the craft beers, all they want is bloody citrus and pine. Whereas the adults in the room, well, we like a good variety of different flavours, that type of stuff. And that's why we have a good variety of different styles of traditional beers, you see. And yeah, this is going towards more of the craft side. Not a bad bit of sweetness there, not a bad bit of malt. Overall, yeah, it's not too bad. And once your mouth gets kind of acclimatised, it's not so kind of citrusy. There's still a bit of citrus there, but it's not too bad. It's drinkable. For a lot of the ones I've tried in the past, this is actually quite drinkable and not too much in your face. I think Greene King also understand that while they're maybe trying to attract more kind of craft beer drinkers to their kind of beers, they also understand that a lot of their core drinkers are more traditional ale drinkers. And on that basis, they can't really go too far with these type of beers because, again, they don't want to alienate the more kind of traditional core beer drinkers, you see. Because remember, the biggest sellers are the likes of kind of the Abbott Ales and the Ruddles and things like that. And let's be totally honest, you're not getting many craft beer drinkers going for them. It's all traditional beer drinkers that are going for that. But this one's not too bad. There's also not a bad bit of grain there as well. You get a nice kind of slightly kind of light breadish tone there as well. So the flavours are actually not too bad. It's how well they're balanced. And overall, with mouthfeel and everything else, it's quite nicely balanced actually. Overall, it's quite sessionable, quite easy drinking. Now my mouth is kind of acclimatised to it. Yeah, it's actually quite nice. It's actually not too bad. The citrus has died down a lot as the mouth has got kind of acclimatised to it. There's a slight off point. The bitterness has also kind of slightly kind of died down as well because of that. Overall, it's actually not bad. Beer's got a nice level of sweetness, nice level of malt, some nice accent flavours now in the mid-tongue, with a little bit of kind of breadiness and grain. You get nicely golden syrup tones. You are getting a little bit of citrus there as well. And overall, it's actually quite nice. So we'll break down the flavours. Okay, starts off with nice kind of golden syrupy tones, a little bit of sweetness, nice bit of grain. But just as it's kind of leaving the front of the mouth, you start getting little kind of accent tones. coming in. And you're starting to get a little bit of breadiness. And you're also getting light citrus tones. Now, this is what you're getting now. I wasn't getting that at the start. I was getting more citrus than anything initially at the start. It was all about the kind of citrus. Pick myself there. All about the citrus. But it's kind of getting acclimatised to it. It's that kind of shock factor initially to the mouth that, oh, there we go, something a bit kind of bitter and sour. And kind of flavour tones you would associate with sour and things like that. But as your mouth becomes acclimatised, the sweetness comes through more. The kind of golden syrup tones are coming through from the malt. You're starting to discover a kind of slight breadiness with the grain. And in the mid-tongue, there's just that nice kind of balance between sweetness, nice malt, and the kind of body that malt brings, again with the grain, and a little bit of kind of breadiness, and little accents of kind of, I think I'm picking kind of 2 different kind of levels of citrus there. 2 kind of citrus tones. Again, you're not clear enough to identify, kind of grapefruit or whatever, but clear enough that you can identify there's 2 kind of layers of kind of citrus flavour there. But again, they're accents, and now it's kind of died down after the mouth has got acclimatised. They're not really in your face, they're not really as invasive. They actually kind of work quite well. And then it moves from the kind of mid-tongue to the back of the mouth in the aftertaste. And you're not really getting pinier at all now. That's kind of disappeared as the mouth has got acclimatised. So there's the citrus, the little kind of golden syrupness, and a little bit of sweetness is coming in. You were getting a little bit of bitterness there. It's kind of really died down now as the mouth has got acclimatised. So it's a little bit of bitterness there, but not much. And they tend to kind of, the flavours are dissipating kind of together. They're not kind of like staggering, or one's dissipating more quickly than the others and things like that. They're all kind of very much of a muchness as they're kind of dying down. And overall, there's no linger there, so it's quite a clean finish. There's nothing lingering, no flavours that are lingering there. And right now, with me talking and everything else, there's no flavours in my mouth right now that I can associate with that beer, so they've all gone from that point of view. So if you like the flavours and you join it, then it's a case as though the only way you're going to get them back is to take another sip. So it's that kind of, if you like the flavour profile, which I find is quite nice, it's actually not too bad. The balance is quite nice and the mouthfeel is quite nice, so it does kind of invite you to go back. And as you can see, it's not a bad beer out of the bottle. And yeah, it's actually not too bad at all. But again, if you're not into citrus flavours at all, including accent flavours, then this beer isn't going to work for you. If you don't mind, if you can cope with a bit of citrus, then this is fine. But it's not too heavy in any way, shape or form. It's actually kind of quite light, quite easy from that point of view. So, what would I give this out of 10? There's a question. I don't know. It says it's won awards and everything else. I'll be honest, I don't give a crap about that. There's plenty of beers that I've drank that I've thought were absolutely bloody awful, and they're all like, award winners and everything else. Jesus. They hand them out with lucky bags, do they? So the awards, they mean nothing to me. I don't give a shit what other people think about it. It's what I think about it. If I'm sitting there down drinking a beer, then that relationship is between me and the beer. And if I've paid for that beer, like I do for most of them, unless they've been kindly donated, then I've got an investment in that relationship. So I don't give a shit what some bloody arsehole has thought about it in a field when he's had a little sip of it, when it's been bloody sitting there, going flat, warming up, God knows what else, never in prime condition and things like that. I don't give a crap what they say and what awards they give them and that type of stuff. It's what I think about it. And if I'm tasting it and I like it, then great. But if I'm tasting it, I don't like it, I don't give a shit if it's won awards. It means nothing to me. At the end of the day, it means that I don't like this beer and I've paid money for it. So there you go. So you can win as many awards as it likes. If I don't like it, I don't like it. And if I've paid money on something that I actually don't like, then trust me, I'm not going to be happy about it. No matter how many awards it's won, you know? So who gives a shit? Let's be totally honest. Now, it's the same situation where if I give a beer a bad review and people say, oh, well, I like it. That's good then. Keep liking it, keep drinking it. But I won't. So that's why I try and spend a bit of time describing the flavours and the mouthfeel and overall trying to describe the beer effect as much as possible. So even if I don't like it, if I've described it accurate enough, you might think, well, no, it actually sounds quite nice to me. This sounds more palatable. This sounds like kind of beer up my street, so I might go and try it, even though he doesn't like it. Or vice versa. I might like the beer and say it's really nice and recommend it and everything else, but I've described it in an accurate enough way that you might try to think, well, no, that's not my kind of cup of tea. I'm not really into that kind of style of beer. So if it's got them type of flavours, nah, I'll avoid that. I don't care if he likes it or not. And there you go. That's the reality of it. So, out of 10, what would I give this? Well, for these type of beers, they can be a bit hit and miss, but this is actually quite refreshing, quite sessionable, not too bad. Overall, it's actually quite nice. I would say it's above average. Price-wise and everything else, I would expect it to be under £2. I know as they're selling at £2.25 and then doing this kind of sale thing, I think that's just a bit of a con, to be totally honest. It'll be interesting to see what this is being sold on the Greene King website and other supermarkets that aren't doing this kind of 4 for 3 kind of deal. So yeah, I'll need to kind of have a look at that, and I'll put it again down in the beer facts below, but this beer should be under the £2 mark, or maximum £2. And yeah, I'm kind of pushing towards a kind of 6.5. It's above average. Again, with pale ales, I'm never going to score them that highly because they're not really my favourite type of beers, and they're not the first kind of beers I go to. I would go for more darker beers. Again, bitters, stouts, porters, they're the type of beers I would probably normally go for first. So this isn't the kind of beer that I would actually go and buy and look for. So on that basis, I'm never going to score them that highly because they're not my favourite kind of style of beers. But having to kind of still review them, and I've reviewed quite a lot of them, this is actually quite nice. It's actually not too bad. It's a nice balance to it. Would it have been better if they kind of substituted the kind of hops for more kind of traditional and give more kind of floral edge rather than citrus edge? Yeah, probably that would have been more palatable to me. But unfortunately, that isn't the trend in the beer world. They tend to go towards more citrus and kind of more American, New World kind of hop type situations rather than traditional. So again, on that basis, you just got to live with it that most pale ales now are going to have more of a citrus bent now than they would a floral bent. That's just reality. So on that basis, the best I can give it is a 6.5. But yeah, it's quite nice. And if you like flavours of citrus, or you can cope with flavours of citrus, then yeah, I would recommend it. Give it a go and see what you think. If you're not really into citrus, then yeah, just avoid it and carry on drinking the normal beer that you're drinking and enjoy it. And there you go. So anyway, it's 500ml bottle, it's 4.5%. Thanks for watching. Cheers, and bye for now.